country tossed, often hungry, often lost in providence of time or cost. But it was meant to be. He reached the city, found his place, and waited nervously.
Good evening, everybody. Swamiji Without Credentials, a one-act play in 4 scenes. We present this play as an offering to Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Swamiji, with an attempt at humility. Sri Ramakrishna is a puppeteer. He is the playwright, the truth, and the audience. May the audience find this play worthwhile. Scene 1, aboard the Canadian Pacific, late July 1893.
Father, this train is much more comfortable than the ship, the SS Empress. I was always feeling seasick. I love the amazing views from this observation car. We have already been traveling a day from Vancouver. How much longer till we get to the fair? I am eager to get to Chicago. That man with the yellow headgear was also on the ship. He seems like a strange one.
I'm pleased you have been practicing your English. I'm not sure how much time it's going to take. Please, don't talk about others. It's not polite.
From where do you come, may I ask?
How kind of you to inquire. We are from Japan. I'm the Japanese ambassador. This is my wife. This is our son. And we are on our way to Chicago World's Fair. May I ask where you come from?
Thank you. My name is Kate Sanborn. I live in a small town outside of Boston called Metcalf, where I have a beautiful and picturesque farm. I'd like to invite you to come and visit should the opportunity arise. Here's my card.
I thank you very much for your kind invitation, and we'll make every effort to visit you sometime. And it's very nice to make your acquaintance.
I assure you the pleasure is all mine. Goodbye for now. Pardon me. May I sit in this empty seat?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Please do.
My, such impressive clothing you're wearing. From where do you come, may I ask?
I'm from India, and this is a turban. It's made of lightweight cloth. You wind it around the head.
Aha, it is quite impressive indeed. Are you also an ambassador?
I am a Hindu monk, and this orange robe is the badge of my calling.
I see. Are you by any chance here to speak at the Parliament of Religions at the Chicago World's Fair?
You have it exactly right. Yes, I'm going to represent Hinduism. Americans, I think, will be quite interested to find out about a religion which on its surface is very different from Christianity. But in essence, these religions are actually quite similar. Philosophically, my religion is very deep and has answers to all the thorny problems raised by Western philosophers. May I know your name?
Yes, my name is Kate Sanborn, and yours?
I'm Swami Vivekananda.
Swami Vivekananda. I am so pleased to meet you, and I shall make a special attempt to listen to your speech at the Parliament. And your English is so proper, and yet you come from so far away. I believe you speak better than myself.
And where do you live?
Yes, thank you. I live in a small town outside of Boston on a beautiful, picturesque farm called Breezy Meadows. I shall like to invite you to come visit.
Thank you.
And you shall receive a hearty welcome. In fact, I often invite distinguished men and women from the Boston vicinity, to include people of great learning and general culture, some professors from Harvard, economists from New York, and philosophers from Concord. And these men and women are of great, exceptional wealth, position, and means. And I think they should like to hear what you have to say about how your religion can solve the difficult problems of the West. Please do call on me should you need anything at all, even if you're just lonely. Here's my card.
Thank you very much for this generous offer. If the Lord wills, I will certainly come.
Scene 2 at the Exposition Information Bureau.
I'm wonderstruck at the various technical marvels we have seen at this fair.
Yes, they are wonderful. And I have noted down the addresses and the names of the inventors, and so that we can take these inventions to Japan.
Japan has caught up with the West in terms of technology. India sadly lags far behind. But in religion, we're ahead.
Father, please, please, can we go on the Ferris wheel?
Okay, okay. You have been asking for an hour. Let's go over there.
Look at that dark-skinned foreigner over there. What an outlandish outfit. Who does he think he is to wear that bright orange robe, a pink sash, and a mess of cloth around his head? He can be up to no good.
How did you do that?
Oh, my God, you speak English. I'm sorry. But why do you dress that way?
I'm a Hindu monk. This is the way we dress. Officer, can you tell me the place where delegates can register to speak at the Parliament of Religions?
Yes, I can. That would be the Exposition Information Bureau. It's fairly close. Go north, past the Science and Technology building, make a left, and it's a small building on the roof.
Good day, sir. Can you tell me when the Parliament of Religion will commence? I'm to represent Hinduism.
It's a good day to you. Well, it is to begin on September the 11th. Could I have your name, please?
Swami Vivekananda.
Could you spell that?
SWAMIVEKANANDA.
Sir, I don't see your name on the list of delegates. Could you have applied under a different name?
I didn't apply.
You didn't apply? You see, all delegates to the Parliament must have proper credentials and references. I would ask for your credentials, but in fact, the deadline to apply has already long passed. So your statement that you are to represent Hinduism is in fact invalid and cannot be honored. Out of curiosity, do you have proper credentials and references?
The only credential I have is that I'm a Hindu monk with a good knowledge of our scriptures.
You may claim that, but we would need proper references in order to bear that out. And in any case, the deadline has already passed. Good day to you, sir.
What fools we were to think I could just come here and be accepted as a delegate. We did not at all think ahead. It's typical of our lack of organization. This country is so expensive. I'm spending money like water. I won't have enough to last to September 11th. But what's the use if I can't speak there anyway? That fair official sounded implacable. It seems my trip to this country has been utterly in vain. And all the effort to raise money for this trip, those boys will be so disappointed. What should I do? I can't bear to lie on that soft bed. Oh, Thakur, what a mess! How could I have been so stupid? I'm half dead with anxiety. What should I do? How will I ever be able to help the poor masses of India?
Halt! Get up, man. Those men are mere bums.
Arise, my child, and go forth from her. Fair man, for he work is thy lot to bear. That which comes to thy hand to be done, do with full strength and fear not. Forget not that I, the giver of manhood, the giver of womanhood, the author of victory, and thy mother. My sport is unending. for that alone set forth on the day's journey. Think it was for my pleasure that thou camest forth into the world, and for that again, when the night falls and my desire is accomplished, I shall withdraw thee to my rest. Ask nothing, seek nothing, plan nothing. Let my will flow through thee as the ocean through an empty shell. Be steadfast in the toil I set thee. Weave well the warp into the woof. Shrink from no demand that the task makes on thee. Feel no responsibility. Ask for no reward. Strong, fearless, resolute, when the sun sets and the game is done, thou shalt know well that I, Kali, giver of manhood, giver of womanhood, withholder of victory, am thy mother.
Ah, oh Thakur, you have come. I feel my life returning to me. That's it. I have a divine call. Why should I give up so easily? Do or die. Why should I be disheartened so easily? Oh, that nice lady I met on the train. Thank you, Thakur, for the thought. What was her name? Oh yes, Kate Sanborn. She invited me to her place outside of Boston. Here is her card. If I can stay with her, I can save money. But more important, she offered to introduce me to influential people of learning. Perhaps that will open up some opportunity. I need to grab any plank that comes along.
Friendship
between three breezy meadows.
My, this telegram is from Swami Vivekananda, my distinguished friend of the observation car. He is at the Quincy House in Boston awaiting my orders, as he says. My God, I promised to introduce him to distinguished men and women. But it is mid-August, not a soul is around. They're all on holiday. How can I entertain my gaily appareled pundit? But I cannot let him down. Swami Vivekananda, I'm so pleased you were able to come and visit me at my farm. And I'm so sorry for those rude grins and stares from the people at the Gooseville station.
Well, shall I give it the dress of my forefathers?
Absolutely not. It's just that they've never seen anything like it in their whole lives.
Yes, I understand. Your farm is quite lovely, just as you described it. When, may I ask, will I be able to meet those distinguished men and women that you promised to introduce me to?
Indeed, you are correct. I did make that promise to you. However, it's mid-August, we're in the dead of summer, and everyone is away on holiday. But let me write to them immediately so they may come and meet you. I am pleased that you have all come together this evening, our fourth, together with Swami Vivekananda. But before we hear from him, Dr. Wright, professor of Greek at Harvard, will play us a short piece by Johann Sebastian Bach.
Western classical music is very different from the music of my country. It's quite sweet in its own way. It's good. I'm enjoying spending time with the people of this country. It's good to share ideas and experiences. Here's an idea from my religion that may be novel to you. God is a circle whose circumference is nowhere, but whose center is everywhere. Every point in that circle is living, conscious, active, and equally working. The universe is a power made up of the great infinite. As long as we're in our individual souls, only one point is conscious. When we can get out of the limited center of body, we shall realize God, our true self.
My head is spinning. I must go lie down.
Swami, I found what you said to be quite inspiring. Would you be willing to return back with me to my summer home in Ennisquam? It's by the ocean, not far from Boston. We would be delighted to have you there.
That sounds wonderful. Of course I'll come. Yes.
Swami, I'm so glad you came to visit. The whole town is delighted with you, not to mention my wife, my children, and I.
No, it's very kind of you to say that. I assure you that the feeling of affection is mutual. Yes, I believe that Vedanta has much to offer the world. I wish I could spread this message to America, but at this point it seems completely impossible for me to speak at the Parliament. I don't have references and credentials. It's long past the deadline to apply, but strangely, I have a feeling that nevertheless I have a calling to speak at the Parliament.
But Swami, you must speak there. It's the only way you can be introduced to the nation at large. To ask you for your credentials is like asking the sun to state its right to shine. I'm a friend of Dr. Barrows, the chairman of the committee on the selection of delegates at the Parliament. I will write to him immediately. Let me read you this letter. I'll skip over the pleasantries and get to the details. This man, Swami Vivekananda, certainly should be seated to represent Hinduism. Never mind the deadline for application. That is trivial compared to the opportunity to hear from this profound man. He doesn't have credentials and references. Well, I'll credential him and be his reference. Here is a man who is more learned than all our learned professors put together.
I'm speechless with gratitude.
Good news. I've heard back from the chairman. You've been accepted as a delegate. You have to return forthwith. I imagine your finances are rather strained. Please accept this train ticket to Chicago. And here is a letter of introduction to Dr. Barrows and his address.
How wonderful!
I'm overwhelmed by how the Lord arranged this. You have been his amazing instrument. I can't thank you enough.
sing again, and yet again, therefore I feel no fear, for birth and death are prostrate at my feet. The eye looks out upon the universe, nor does it seek to look upon itself. Why should it sees itself in others? Now on my eyes, now and now alone, for every living temple shines thy face. Even at times I dare be angry, even at times I wander far away, yet there is speechless mouth and tearful eyes. Thou standest fronting me, and thy sweet face stoops down with loving look on face of mine. Then at thy feet I fall on bended knees. I crave no pardon at thy gentle hands, for thou art never angry with thy Son. Who else with all my foolish freaks would bear? Thou art my master, thou my soul's will make.
Scene 4, A Night in a Boxcar.
Well, here I am in the Chicago train station. Now I'm in another predicament. Somehow I managed to lose the address of Dr. Barrows. There was a merchant on the train who told me he would show me the way to the parlor, but as soon as we arrived, he ran off. I'll have to ask someone. Sir, can you direct me to the parlor of religions?
No spreche English, nur Deutsch.
Madam, could you direct me to the parlor of religion? I've lost my way.
Entschuldigung, ich kann kein Englisch sprechen.
No one seems to speak English. The night is coming on. Well, look at this. A goods wagon. I'll climb into this, and I'll spend the night. I've spent many a time by the wayside. Thakur is putting me through another test. Well, I'm a sannyasin. I know I am the self. It doesn't really matter to me in the least whether I spend the night in a goods wagon or in a luxury hotel. Somehow the Lord will provide.
This thirst for life death and death to birth the soul. He conquers all who conquer self, nor lives and never yield. The sky thy roof, the grass thy bed, and food what chance may bring. Thy rolling river free, thou ever be, sannyasin gold, say Om Tat Sat Om. Where seekest thou that freedom, friend, this world no land can give? In books and temples wing thy search, thine only is the hand that holds the rope that drags thee on. Then seize the land, let go thy hold. The sky thy roof, the grass thy bed, and food what chance may bring. Thy rolling river free, thou ever be, sannyasin gold, say Om Tat Sat Om. Say peace to all, from me no danger be to one that lives. In those that dwell on high, in those that lowly creep, I am the self in all. All life both near and near do I renounce. All heavens, earths, and hells, all hopes and fears, thus guard thy walls. The sky thy roof, the grass thy bed, and food what chance may bring. Thy rolling river free, thou ever be, sannyasin gold, say Om Tat Sat Om. You only know the truth, the rest will hate and laugh and deem they won. But they no heed, who hover free from place to place, and help them out of darkness not ill-smell. Without the fear of pain or search for pleasure, go beyond them both. The sky thy roof, the grass thy bed, and food what chance may bring. Thy rolling river free, thou ever be, sannyasin gold, say Om Tat Sat Om. Say Om Tat Sat
Oh, boy. I slept better in this good wagon than I did in the luxury hotel of Chicago. Strange. I smell the sweet scent of fresh water. Let me walk toward that. My, this is quite the fashionable neighborhood. And there, oh my, how beautiful. Lake Michigan glistening in the morning sun. Well, let me knock on one of these ritzy doors and ask for help. Madam, can you give me some food and direct me to the Parliament of Religions?
How dare you to knock on this door? You filthy vagabond! Begone!
I'll try this door. Sir, I'm a delegate to the Parliament of Religions. I've lost my way and I'm very hungry.
Don't give me that malarkey, you dirty bum. What an outlandish outfit. You better leave this place or I'll call the police.
Oh, these people are heartless. I'll just sit on this curb and await the will of the Lord.
Sir, are you by any chance a delegate to the Parliament of Religions?
Oh, you are an angel to come to me with that question. Yes, indeed I am, but I've totally lost my way. I had to spend the night in a goods wagon, so I'm somewhat dirty.
A goods wagon?
A freight car with sliding doors on the side.
Oh, we call that a boxcar in this country. You poor man. I feel it is such a privilege to have this opportunity to be of service to you. Here, come inside my home. The servants will take you to a room where you can freshen up. They'll wash and iron your robe for you. After you've had breakfast and your robe is ready, I myself will take you in our carriage to the offices of the Parliament of Religion.
This body is yours, use it as you wish. This mind is yours, use it as you wish. This intellect is yours, use it as you wish. This sense of mind is yours, use it as you wish. This body is yours, use it as you wish. This mind is yours, use it as you wish. This intellect is yours, use it as you wish. This sense of mind is yours, use it as you wish. This body is yours, use it as you wish. This mind is yours, use it as you wish. This intellect is yours, use it as you wish. This sense of mind is yours, use it as you wish.
Thus begins a lifelong friendship with Mrs. Hale and her family. Swamiji spends that day in his room at the Parliament, and with the conviction that the Lord is with him, and in the spirit of a prophet awaits the coming of events. The next day, September 11, 1893, he sits on the platform with the other delegates before an eager audience of about 6,000 or 7,000 well-educated people. All morning he's feeling nervous about speaking. About this he later writes, "Of course my heart was fluttering, my tongue was nearly dried up. Several times he puts off his turn. He feels himself a fool for not having prepared his remarks as all the other delegates had done. Finally, when he came upon its time to turn, he could no longer do it. He inwardly bowed to Saraswati, goddess of knowledge. He stands, is introduced, and greets the audience."
Sisters and brothers of America.
Excellent. Would introduce who played what roles?
Patrick was the professor, he was the fair official, And what was his third role? Oh,
Professor.
the mean gentleman. The so-called gentleman. Tolstoy was the Japanese ambassador, the German-speaking man, and the mean butler. Puja was the Japanese ambassador's wife, and then transformed into colleague.
Yes.
Mother is Mrs. George Hale. Maris is Kate Sanborn. Happy is the son of the Japanese ambassador. Is Sri Ramakrishna. Sipra is the mean maid. Bai Shui and Sharmila were guests at Kate Sanborn's house. And Bai Shui was also the German-speaking lady. Robert wound the Tobin very excellent. Oh, and the props.
Props, yes.
Thanks. Also the police officer. And he also helped with crafts.
Who did the light?
Patrick Hoffman.
Cameraman.
And the cameraman was Patrick.
In the audience. Audience.
Audience.
Yes.